Okay, so we'll try it again. Hello, everybody. My name is Tameka Bright, host of Pink Conversations, Empower, Inform, Inspire, coming at you again on this Monday. Doing it different yet again. Gotta love Miss Libby. So she said, hey, jump on and let's do Facebook Live. I said, alrighty then, here we go. So this is a different version of what my broadcast is about. So this here is just a video message. I get up here, keep it short, sweet, and simple, but just want to get the message to you. So again, I'm Tameka Bright, host of Pink Conversations, and this is on WYTV7 out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And today's topic for Pink Conversations, giving you a bright moment, is vision barriers. Now, we all know that there are a lot of factors that can go into what a vision barrier is and being a vision barrier. And there are quite a few. And I'm just going to go over a couple of them, and then we're going to just dive into a little bit. And that'll be our time, right? So we've got vision barrier: time, money, space, doubt, procrastinations, distractions, and you. Yes, you. So I like to use visual aids from time to time. And today's visual aid is going to be this thing right here. It's called a planner. I know when I used to coach, I used to tell my girls all the time, listen, it is important that you get a planner, okay? That if you don't have anything else for school, make sure you get a planner. It won't only help you with your classes, but it definitely will help you being a part of the cheer squad. So in this instance, a planner. And I always say that if you don't plan, then you plan to fail, right? That's a popular saying, and it is so true. I want to take you to scripture, Habakkuk 2:2. Remember when the Lord said, he told him to write it down and to make it plain. And then he told him to be patient about it. And that's something that we have to be important about. That's important. You know, we want to write the vision down, and we want it to happen like right then, because we get it and we're just like, oh God, we want it right then and right there and all. And God is telling us, okay, be patient about it, all right, because it will come to pass. One of the things that you can definitely be assured of that if God gave that to you, if he said that this is what you are supposed to have, it is definitely going to come to pass. There needs to be no worries there about that. You have to know that God's vision will definitely come to pass. And I just need to tell you that my notes decided they wanted to fly away. So, and I'm looking like, okay, where'd the other piece of paper go? So, good thing I read over them just a bit before I started, but it would be nice to have them. I know I wanted to give you 3 scriptures, so we talked about Habakkuk 2. The other, Proverbs 16:3, as commit thy works to the Lord so your purpose can be fulfilled. And Psalms 37:4, which tells you that God will give you the desires of your heart, as long as you delight yourself into him. So we want to dive into vision. I feel like this topic I've been on a lot when it comes to vision, because I'm big about the gifts that God has put inside of us and the vision that he allows us to have. What you've got to realize is that your vision is not from you. I know that probably sounds crazy because you're like, well, I thought about it, so it is from me. Nah, that's what God has put inside you. Now, he's put that vision inside of you. Now it's up to you to allow him to work that vision in you. But you've got to do your part too. You've got to set out and you've got to go out and do what it is that he has for you to do within your vision. Okay? And if you're not sure what that is, you know, well, I don't know what my vision may be. I'm not sure what my gift might be. Well, you ask God for it, because there is a gift inside of you. Everyone has a gift, okay? And sometimes we can all have the same gifts. You know, I've said this before, that sometimes our visions can be the same, our gifts can be the same for what it is that we're looking to do. But just because someone else is doing it shouldn't stop you from doing it as well. Why? Because you're designed, you got that? You are designed to do it differently. And you are going to do it differently, and you are going to reach a different audience. So never feel like, oh, you know, I can't do it because somebody else is down the road is doing that. If I felt that way, well, I can't do a live broadcast because my man Cal's taking over and he's doing really good with Walking with God. Or I can't do the broadcast because, you know, there's so many radio personalities out there. No. God doesn't want us to sit on our gift, and he doesn't want us to sit on our vision, because while everyone else is doing what they do, you're meant to reach different audience. So going back to being vision barriers, you can be your biggest vision barrier. And how is that? Well, we can allow that thing, doubt, to come into play, right? Because we can think, well, this really isn't for me, or I don't have what it takes. So you think that you don't have what it takes for you to complete this vision. Well, if you didn't have what it took to complete the vision, God would have never laid it before you. Always remember that. If you didn't have what it took to complete the vision, God wouldn't allow you to have it. He wouldn't give it to you. So once you get that vision, once you see clearly what it is that you desire to do, I need you to write that down, right? That's where this planner came in, right? Write it down. Write it down what you want and how you see it. But then be open to allow God to come in and to change it, to make it fulfill his purpose. Because at the end of the day, what we do for our vision and what we do for our purpose is to glorify him. He's got to get the glory out of everything that we do. So once we write this down and we realize, okay, this is what we want to do, but God, your will be done. It's part of the prayer, right? That not my will, but your will, as it is in heaven, right? That you want it done right here on earth. So that's what we're praying about when it comes to our vision. And we want to get away from the doubt, because that's a big vision barrier. We want to get away from the procrastination. Yes, that can be so big, because sometimes we can feel like the vision that we have is so massive. We're like, how in the world are we going to get this done? So we keep putting things off, right? No, get away from the procrastination. That is a vision barrier. Time. You have to make time. There's a saying about burning that midnight oil. Well, yes, you have to. If you don't put in the work, you can't expect to see the growth come out of it. You can't expect to see the manifestation come out of it. You can't expect to see what God has put into you to come out of you if you don't put in the work. So yeah, sometimes you got to burn that midnight oil, as my girl used to say, or as that old saying is. Sometimes you have to do that, but you have to find the time to do that. And it is a balancing act to find the time to make sure that you have your vision, and then you got your family, and if you've got children, if you've got a husband, you got a job, you have to take the time to prioritize that and to make sure that you can do that. And you can. Again, if this wasn't a vision that you could do, God would never allow you to have it. So let's stay away from that. I think the biggest vision barrier besides you is money, right? We always say, oh, well, there's something that we want to do, but we don't have the money to do it. And so we always use that as an excuse. Not an excuse. Again, if God put it in you, he's going to make sure that he sees it through you. Okay? So don't let the money, the time, the space, the doubt, the procrastination, all of the major vision barriers get in the way of what God has for you. So I want to give you an example of vision, like for myself. My vision is to take Pink Conversations and it be syndicated. Okay? That is my vision. Now, I've asked God for that. You be specific with God. I had to slow that one down, right? So that in asking for what you want, his word tells you that you have to come boldly before the throne. What does that mean? That means I just come knowing that what I ask God for, that he will do, because his word says that anything that you ask in my name, that you shall receive. Why? Because he abides in you and you abide in him. You got to stand on his word. Why? Because he said in his word that what he said in his word will not come back to him void. So if he said that to you, then it's going to happen. Right? But you got to be bold with this thing. It's just like when we were kids and it was something that we really wanted. We didn't hesitate to ask for it, right? We went to our parents and we asked for what it is that we wanted. And that's what God wants you to do with him. Ask him what you want. This vision that you see, ask him for that. But then allow him to work that vision for his purpose and his glory. So it may not always work out the way you see it. So at the end of the day, this is what I may want for myself, or this may be what you want for you, but it may not work out the way that you thought it would. And then we get discouraged, right? We feel like we've been set back. But you've got to remember that your setbacks are your setups for your future. Okay, you got to remember that your setbacks are your setup for your future. So don't feel like your setbacks are just that and this is going to keep you where you are. No, you can't allow that to happen when you are working your vision. You got to be prepared for those setbacks. You got to be prepared for those roadblocks. But those roadblocks are just hindrances to get you into the right direction. So don't feel like the roadblocks are that's it and you don't have any other way around. What happens when you're driving and there's a roadblock? Do you just not go to your destination? No, you look for an alternate route, right? You look for a detour. And so that's what you do in your vision. You have to remember that there's always more than one way to accomplish that vision. Just because you may see it just that one way doesn't mean that's the only way. So you've got to be willing to ask God to show you, okay, Lord, show me which way to get to this vision, because the route that I planned for route A wasn't quite working. So I need a B through G, right? And sometimes we do. But at the end of the day, as long as we come back to A, that's all that matters. But we've got to get there, okay? So so always remember that your roadblocks and your setbacks are just helping you prepare for something better in your future. If you're just tuning in, I'm Tameka Bright, and you're listening to Pink Conversations, doing my first live Facebook for WYTV7, a Christian Broadcasters Network out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And this is Pink Conversations, giving you a bright moment. We're talking about vision barriers, and about how, sometimes we can be our biggest vision barriers. And without this right here, without planning, this is a planner here, without planning, how we can fail. And that's not what God has for us. Again, if God gave you the vision, I said this earlier, that if he gave you this vision, he's going to make sure that you see it through. But you've got to be willing to put the work in. I always tell people that, yes, we have gifts inside of us, but if we allow those gifts to lie dormant in us and we don't work those gifts, that's not pleasing to God. God gave each and every one of us a gift, and he expects us to work that gift. So you want to know what that gift is? We need to find out what it is. You need to ask him. Be bold, right, about what you ask him. Ask him exactly what that gift is and what it is that you have to do in order to get to your gift, right? That's important. So I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your time. Again, this is Pink Conversations, and I just wanted to talk to you about vision barriers and encourage you not to be your own vision barrier, and to encourage you not to allow the distractions to be your vision barrier, because we can do that, right? We can get so distracted. We have our vision in front of us and we can get so distracted by other things. That's nothing but the enemy, guys. Let me tell you, he doesn't want to see you go where God is taking you. That's his purpose. He comes to do what? Steal, kill, and destroy. So don't let him do either of those to your vision. You've got to hold fast to know that, okay, this is what God has given me. I'm going to see it through. Myself and God, he's going to allow me to see it through. And when you feel like you've reached some of those roadblocks, so you feel like you've reached some of those setbacks, you ask God to help you how to deal with those so that you can get back on the right track. But you cannot give up. No, it's not going to come easy. Just because it comes from you doesn't mean that it's always going to come easy. You're going to have to put in the work, and you're going to experience some things that feel like, okay, Lord, am I tripping? Because this was my vision and you gave it to me. I thought it was going to be smooth sailing. Not at all. But that's okay. I knew that was going to happen. But that's okay, because that's part of your story. That's part of your story for you to have some of those moments where you feel like, okay, God, what's going on here? So remember those, write those down, so that when you get to the end result, you can say, you know what? I remember when this happened, and this end that I was getting to didn't look like it was going to happen, but it did. And so thank God for that. So again, I would just want to encourage you not to be your own vision barrier. Don't allow things like time, distraction, money, space, doubt. Don't allow those to be your vision barriers. Those are so easy to creep up in you and in your thoughts. That's why God said it is so important that we renew our minds daily. See, everything works out. It works to one, so that we can get to where God has us to be. So renew that mind daily. Start encouraging yourself. Speak God's word into you. Give yourself encouragement so that you can keep fighting, so that you can keep pressing on to what it is that God has for you. That is the only way that is going to happen. So what you don't have the money? So what you don't have the time? So what you don't have the space? You think you don't have the time, but you really do. Because see, you make time for what it is that you really want to do. Always remember that. So this is what you really want to do. You really want to fulfill God's purpose in your life. You will make time for that, and you will find out how to do exactly that. So I want to leave you with this pink convo thought to end our session for today. And our pink convo thought is this: you need 2 essential things to carry out your vision. Just 2. Very essential to carry out your vision. And I'm going to show you what those are, and hope that my camera don't blow over, but it looks like it is. You need this, which is a writing utensil. I don't care if it's a crayon. It can be a piece of chalk. It doesn't matter. You just need a writing utensil and a piece of paper, a notebook. Whatever it is, you need that. That's what you need to carry out that vision, because you've got to write it down. That's where it starts. Thanks for tuning in to Pink Conversations. I'm Tameka Bright. I'll be back here with you on Monday, and I'll have another bright moment to share. Thanks for tuning in, and be purpose-driven and passion-focused.